Welcome to Daily Faith in English. This is our vocabulary and faith series, where we explore key words and expressions from selected verses of each Bible chapter. If you want to hear the full chapter with a devotional reflection, just click the link above. You can also download the free PDF for today's chapter. It includes the main words explained in today's lesson, so you can review and practice at your own pace. The link is in the description. And if you'd like, subscribe and explore our videos to grow in faith and in English. Today, we'll study Genesis chapter 1 from the World English Bible. Let's begin. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was on the surface of the deep. And God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. Let's take a closer look at the words that describe the earth before God began shaping creation. Formless. Formless means something that has no clear shape or structure. Think of a lump of clay before the potter touches it. Nothing defined yet. A plan without details feels formless. It needs structure. Sometimes our lives feel formless until God begins shaping our steps. Empty. Empty means having nothing inside, nothing filling that space. The house felt empty after everyone left. A heart can feel empty when it is far from God. Darkness. Darkness simply means the complete absence of light, nothing visible. The power went out, and the whole room was in darkness. Even in seasons of darkness, God is still present, preparing to speak light. Hovering over. The phrase hovering over is a phrasal verb that describes staying gently above something, close, attentive, and protective, like a bird watching over its young. A mother hovered over her child, making sure he was safe. God's Spirit hovers over us even when we feel unprepared or unsure. Let's understand a little more about these words in this context. The state of the world before creation is described as a complete disorder. As we already saw, formless means no clear shape. Like a lump of clay before the potter touches it. And empty means nothing inside. It describes a space with nothing filling it. So, when we read the words formless and empty, we understand them as a literary device for total chaos. These two adjectives together describe a complete lack of structure and order. Now let's shift our attention to the divine presence. The divine presence brought order to the world. The phrase hovering over is a sign of careful, active presence. This shows God was attentive and protective even before creation ever began. In fact, hovering over means attentive and protective. And here we see an analogy, a bird watching over its young. This phrase illustrates a close, watchful, and nurturing presence. Now, let's move to verse 7. God made the expanse and divided the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse. And it was so. Expanse. Expanse is a formal word for a wide, open area, like the sky stretching across everything. We watched birds flying across the blue expanse at sunset. God placed the expanse above us as a reminder of His greatness. Divided. In this sentence, divided is in the simple past tense because it shows an action that God completed in the past. To divide means to separate one thing from another, to create boundaries. We divided the room into two areas, one for work, one for rest. God sometimes divides our path from things that were never meant for us. Above. Above means in a higher position. The lamp hangs above the table. God's thoughts are above our thoughts, higher and wiser. Verse 9. God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered together to one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. Under. Under means below, in a lower position, or covered by something. Under can also mean being protected or guided by God. The book is under the table. We are under God's care. Be gathered together is in the passive voice and means to be brought together into one place by someone. Here, gather does not mean to meet by yourself. It means that someone causes things to come together. In this expression, the waters were moved not by themselves, but by God's command. The students were gathered together for an announcement. God can gather our scattered thoughts and bring peace. One place. One place means a single, specific location. All my notes are now in one place, much easier to find. God gathers our prayers into one place before Him. Dry land. Dry land is the solid ground not covered by water, stable and firm. After the storm, they finally reach dry land. Dry land represents stability, the firm foundation God gives His people. Appear. Appear means to become visible, to show up. A rainbow appeared after the rain. God's help often appears exactly when we need it. The expression, "and it was so," means that what God said happened immediately. There was no delay and no doubt. God spoke, and the result came at once. Let's go forward now to verse 26. God said, "Let's make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Image. Image means a form, representation, or reflection. Children often show the image of their parents. We are made in God's image, capable of thinking, choosing, loving. Likeness. Likeness means similarity in character or nature. She shows the likeness of her mother in kindness. We grow into the likeness of Christ as we become more loving and obedient. Dominion. Dominion means authority or the right to rule, but in a caring, responsible way. A manager has dominion over a team, guiding and supporting them. Dominion reminds us that God calls us to stewardship, not control, but care. Livestock. Livestock means farm animals that people raise for food, work, or products. This includes animals like cows, sheep, goats, and horses. In the Bible, livestock often represents provision and blessing. It shows that God cares for people by providing animals for food and work. The farmer takes care of his livestock every day. Creeping thing. A creeping thing refers to small animals that move close to the ground. Insects, reptiles, small creatures. Gardeners deal with many creeping things in the soil. Adam had authority even over every creeping thing. Now, verse 28. God blessed them. God said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Be fruitful. Be fruitful means to produce good results or growth. A fruitful day is one where you get meaningful work done. A fruitful life shows the character of Christ: love, joy, peace. Multiply. Multiply means to increase in number. Resources multiply when shared wisely. God multiplies our efforts when we walk in obedience. Fill the earth. This means to occupy, populate, or completely cover a place. Voices filled the room with excitement. We are called to fill the earth with God's goodness. Subdue. To subdue means to bring something under control through effort, discipline, hard work, intention. He had to subdue the wild land to grow crops. God calls us to subdue our fears, emotions, and desires, bringing them under His guidance. This concludes our study for today. If you want to grow even more in God's Word and in your English, remember to subscribe, like this video, and download the free PDF in the description to continue your study. May God bless your heart and guide your learning. See you next time.